Hi, welcome to this tutorial. So today we are going to learn how to multiply real numbers. So multiplication, multiplication of real numbers. So sorry. So before we do that, let's say there are some things that I would like to show you first. Before we begin with some examples on how to multiply real numbers. So when you have a positive number, right? When you have a plus sign times another plus sign, the answer is always a positive sign. When you have a positive sign times a negative sign, the answer is always going to be negative. Okay? And when you have a negative times a positive, the answer is always to be it is always going to be a negative. But when you have a negative times another negative, then the answer is going to be positive. All right? So for case number 1, so we have case number 1, case number 2, case number 3, and case number 4. So for the first case, when we have a positive number multiplied by another positive number, the answer is always going to be a positive number. So for example, when you have the number 2 times 1, all right. So let's say you are given an operation such as the number 2 times the number 1. On our very first tutorial, I taught you where the sign of a number is located. So the sign of the number 2 is located right here on the left of 2. And if there's no sign, it means that the sign is positive. So the sign of the number 1 is also positive. So if there's no sign, it means the sign is positive. So before we multiply the numbers themselves, first we have to multiply the signs. So when you have a positive, so plus times plus is what? Is plus. As you can see here, plus times plus is plus. So now, after you multiply the signs, then you multiply the numbers. So 2 times 1 is equal to what? 2. So now, whenever you see parentheses in mathematics, it means multiply. So parentheses means multiplication. So let's say you have the number 4, right? And they put parentheses 2, for example. This means, so since there's parentheses here, so parentheses means multiply. So it means take the number 4 and multiply it by the number 2. So take the number 4 and multiply it by the number 2. So that's the meaning of these parentheses. So now, when we are multiplying 4 by 2, we first multiply what? The signs. We always start by multiplying the signs first. So the sign of 4 is what? Positive. And the sign of 2 is what? Positive. So when you have a positive times another positive, So the answer is always going to be a positive number. So after you finish multiplying the signs, now you multiply the numbers. So 4 multiplied by 2 is what? 8. So that was for the first case. So now let's take case number 2. A positive number multiplied by a negative number. So a number, for example, let's say the number 5, for example, multiplied by a negative number, by negative 3. So again, as I said, parentheses means what? Multiplication. Wherever you see parentheses, it means multiplication. So to multiply these two numbers, we always begin by multiplying the sign of the numbers first. So the sign of the number 5 is located where? On the left side of 5. And if there's nothing, if it is empty, the sign is positive. So when you have a positive times a negative, the answer is what? A negative. So you take the sign of the first number and you multiply it by the sign of the second number. So a positive times a negative is what? A negative. As you can see here, positive times negative is negative. So after you do that, then you multiply the numbers. So when you take the number 5, so 5 times 3 is equal to what? 15. So this is how you multiply real numbers. So now let's take the third case. A negative number times a positive number. So when we have the number negative 10, for example, multiplied, right, by a positive number, let's say 2, okay? Again, first thing first, we multiply the signs first. So the sign of the number 10 is what? Negative. And the sign of the number 2 is what? Positive. And as I said many times, if there's nothing, if it's empty, the sign is positive. So the first thing that we begin with is multiplying the signs of the numbers. So the sign of the first number is negative and the sign of the second number is positive. So a negative times a positive is a negative, right? Negative times positive is what? Negative. So then you forget about the signs and you multiply the numbers. So 10 times 2 is what? 20. So the final answer of negative 10 parentheses 2 is negative 20. So now for the last case, right? A negative number times another negative number. So let's say we have negative 4 parentheses negative 2. Okay? First thing first, we multiply the signs. So we take the first sign, we multiply it by the second sign. Negative times negative is what? Negative times negative is positive. So we put plus here. After multiplying the signs, now we have to multiply the numbers. So 4 times 2 is equal to what? 8. So the final answer of negative 4 parentheses negative 2 is what? Positive 8. Yeah. So that's all for this video and I will see you on the next one. And please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Alright, bye.